Hi everyone, I'm Megan and welcome back to another lab video for Analytics and Decision Sciences 4293 Professional Analytics. In this lab, we will be exploring logical statements and logical operators in Excel VBA. If you like the contents of this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. The material presented in this lab will be based on VBA for Modelers, the fifth edition by Christian Albright, and IB case 9B11 E021 by Wei Zia, which you can find on IB cases through the link provided below. Please open Excel and follow along as we get started.
First, we should talk about what a logical statement is. It's a collection of Boolean type expressions that can either be true or false. So for example, if we have 3 greater than true, that's going to be a logical statement. And if we have 1 is equal to 0, then that's a false logical statement. And then we also have while x is greater than 2, and that's not a logical statement because we do not know the value of x. So in VBA, we can use logical operators to connect logical statements. We can use the words and, or, as well as not. So those 3 words are what we connect logical statements with. So and is used when all conditions must be true for the logical statement to be true. Or means that at least one of the conditions must be true for the logical statement to be true. And then not means that we switch the condition. Therefore, if the condition is true, not makes it false. So we're going to do an example in VBA here, and we're going to call it sub-log statements. So we're just going to run through a scenario of statements and see what the output is going to be. So we're going to declare A as Boolean, and then I'm just going to quick copy this, and then we'll change A to be a variable of B, then C, then D. So right now we have 4 different variables, A, B, C, and D. So first what we're going to do is we're going to let A equal 3 greater than 2, which is true, as well as 1 is equal to 0. So since 1 equal to 0 is false, we should expect this to be false. So if we do a message box of A, and then we run this, we can see we get the output of false here. So if we do another one, so if we set B equal to not 1 is equal to 1, so 1 equal to 1 is true, but since we're using the not connector, it's going to change it to false. So again, if we do a message box of B and run this, we see a message box with the value of false. So again, we're going to change this and we're going to set C now equal to 4 greater than 3 and 1 is less than 5, or B and 5 greater than 4, or A. So basically what this is doing is we're going to first start inside the brackets here. So we have 4 greater than 3, which is true, and then 1 less than 5, which is true. So this is going to be true here. And no matter what these guys are, since our first condition is true, everything's going to be true. Okay, so if we do a quick message box of C to see the output, we see the value is true. So basically with B here, we're calling our variable of not 1 is equal to 1. And then same with A. And it doesn't matter that these guys are false over here, since we're using this OR connector. with this one being true, that's all that really matters, and that's why we're getting an answer of true in our message box. So finally, we're going to set D is equal to A and B and C. So basically what we should expect here when we run this for D is that since both A and B are false, it doesn't matter that C is true. All of them would have to be true for D to be true. So we expect the message box of D to be false, which it is. So next, we're going to investigate if then else statements. So here, we're going to write a condition, then an action, and then we're going to use else if with conditions and then actions and so forth, all the way until we get to a value of else, which has no condition to it. So I get that's kind of confusing. So we're going to do an example of this. So the example we're going to do is we want to change a number grade to their associated letter grade. So we're going to create a sub called grades. So what this sub procedure is going to do is it's going to take us a value in cell A1 and it's going to pop up a message box that tells us what the letter grade should be. So we're going to start by declaring X as single, which means that it is a number. And then we're going to set X equal to cells 1, 1 dot value. So what we're doing is we're taking the value that's inside A1, which corresponds to cells 1, 1. And we're then going to compare. So we're going to do if X is greater than 0 and X is less than 50. So if both of these are true, then what we want is a message box saying grade F. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say else if. So if that first condition is true, if the value of X is not between 0 and 50, then what we want to say is if X is greater than or equal to 50 and X is less than 60, then what we want is a message box stating that the grade is D. So then we're going to use an else if again. So if both of those first conditions are not true, then we're going to say if X is less than or equal to 60 and if X is greater than or equal to 60, sorry, my bad there, and X is less than 70, then we're going to have a message box with grade C. Else if we're going to do the same thing again, but with a lower bound of 70 and an upper bound of 80, where we're going to have a message box telling us that the grade is a B. And then finally, we're going to have else if X is less or greater than or equal to 80 and it's less than or equal to 100, then we're going to have a grade of A. So the last thing we're going to add here is the else condition. So basically what this one does is if everything else is not true, then it's going to pop up this message for us in a message box. We're going to say the value in cell A1 needs to be in the range of 0 to 100. So it's just telling us that something's wrong here. So what we can do is we can put in any value we want into A1. So let's start with 82. So if we go back to our Visual Basics and we run grades, oh, my bad, I needed to add an end if at the very end of our if statement. So that just tells VBA that the if statement is completed. So let me just rerun this real quick. We can see that at a value of 82, we have a grade A. So then if we do, say, -10, which we know should not work, if we go over to macros and run grade, we get the message box saying that we need the value to be in the range of 0 to 100. So the final thing we're going to investigate in this video is the select case statement. So this is similar to the if-then statement, and it also uses logical statements to determine whether to complete tasks or not. So to do this, we need to define the test value of the case, and then we write the conditions as case condition 1, action 1, with a semicolon following the first action. Then we write case 2 using the same lines as case 1 and continue all the way down till we're out of cases. So we're going to use the same example for consistency purposes. So we'll open up our Visual Basics editor and we're going to say sub grades case. So this one we're using the case statement instead of if statements. So again, we're just going to declare x as single in this scenario and say x is equal to cells 1, 1, which is our A1. So here, what we first need to do is define the test case. So to do that, we say select case x. So we're saying that we need to select x and then compare it using our case statements. So we're going to start with case 0 to 49.99999. So what this is saying is in the values of x belonging to 0 and then 49.999, we want a message box of grade F, and then we're going to create another case. So I'm just going to copy and paste this to make my life a little bit easier. So the next case we have is going to be 50 to 59.999, and this is going to be a grade D. And then we're going to copy and paste again, and we're going to go 60 to 69, which is going to be a grade C. And then we'll go 70 to 79, which is going to be a grade B. And then we will do 80 to 100, which is going to be a grade of A. So finally, we're going to use case else. So if none of these case conditions are true, then again, we're just going to have a message box saying that the value in cell A1 needs to be in the range of 0 to 100. So if we run this, my bad again, I forgot to end our case statement. So to do that, we say end select. So now this sub procedure should work. So again, we get essentially our error message here, which is that the value in A1, which is -10, that's not within our designated range, so we need to quick change that. So if we say 55.5, and then we run our grades case, we can see that we get a grade of D. We can change this to 100. And we run our grades case, and we get a grade of A.
This is all the material I have for this video. I hope you found the material presented helpful when using Excel and VBA for decision modeling. If you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in more videos, please check out our playlist where we describe other ways to use VBA. Thanks for watching. Bye.